Voter sentiment ahead of tonight's presidential debate and what we can expect. We welcome George Washington University professor and director of political management, Todd Belt. Professor, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thanks. It's great to be with you.
Well, it is likely to be a contentious evening. How will the interactions between the two play out with voters? Will that sway opinion?
Well, this is going to be really interesting because we have some new rules to this debate, and those include the muting of the microphones and no live audience. And I think that actually is a distraction for Donald Trump because he loves to get under people's skins. He loves to be sort of the bully that pushes you off message, and he loves to work off of the audience. And so I think actually because of that, we're probably going to get more policy information, which I think is really good for democracy.
I think voters would probably appreciate that as well. It's always, kind of frustrating when you hear a lot of fighting. Many issues, though, to discuss, and they're on opposite sides in many of these. Reproductive rights, immigration. How important is what is said tonight on those topics we'll have on the vote?
Right. It's not only what is said, but it's how it's said. And like I said, they're going to have some more time to express what they want to do. And I'm hoping we're going to hear from the candidates, not just some messaging on this issue, but more of their plans for America. What an America under another Trump administration or another Biden administration would look like, and what their plans are to solve these problems. Of course, the economy is always the #1 issue. And we know that the Democrats have gotten a lot of traction out of the abortion issue. And additionally, we know that the Republicans are going to talk about immigration and crime, but I think we might get a couple surprise issues in there. Sometimes candidates like to use this, an early debate, as sort of a trial balloon to see what issues might resonate with voters.
I was just going to ask you that. What do you expect in terms of surprises?
Well, nobody knows what a surprise is, so that's what the nature of a surprise. But I do think that there might be some things that we're going to hear about that we didn't expect. I think that there's a couple issues that are really popular with voters that the candidates haven't really talked about on the campaign trail too much. Healthcare costs are one. That's really popular across the spectrum. And another one is the threat that China poses to our economy and to our intelligence services, as well as, cybersecurity. I think those are some issues that might pop up tonight that we weren't being expecting.
All right. Hopefully we'll hear more about those serious topics. Really quick before you go, do you think the criminal trial of Donald Trump or the Biden family trial will be brought up at all?
I know that Donald Trump will bring up Hunter Biden. I'm absolutely sure of that. It's going to be interesting to see how Joe Biden brings this up. He's going to want to because he's got a little traction out of those felony convictions. I think he's going to try to build on it, but in a way that is not going to open him up to criticism for politicizing the Justice Department.
All right. George Washington University political science professor Todd Belt. Professor, thank you so much for joining us and with your insight this morning.
Great to be with you. Thanks for having me.